Well, it's that time again. August is upon us and we're over halfway through the year, and what a horrendous year it's been. But we're here to give you a rundown of the most exciting games coming out this month. Stick with us for 5 great distractions. First up, on August the 4th, we see the wonderful Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout. Based on slapstick shows like Takeshi's Castle and 70s used to be classic, but now erased from the memories of 70s children like me. Why were all the 70s stars in the UK such creeps? Sorry, back to the game. It's basically like those TV shows, except there's no creepiness. It looks wonderful and free with PS Plus this month, and also out on Steam on August the 4th. The idea here is that up to 60 of you start the varied obstacle courses with your customizable, cute and blobby characters, and by the end, the laws of physics and the dastardly nature of other people, no matter how cute they might seem, and just sheer bad luck, will see you whittled down to one at the end. You can expect us to be streaming this. It looks hilarious. On August the 18th, we finally have the world at our fingertips when Microsoft revives its much-loved and much-missed flight simulator, using the Azure cloud computing system to raise the world detail to seriously insane levels in conjunction with big maps. It's releasing for Game Pass for PC first, with an Xbox release to follow. It's been received very well so far and apparently works very well with a gamepad. I can't be the only one that fully intends to fly over my house and say, in a Klingon accent, "I can see my house from here," while the AI that interprets the big maps does reportedly fall on its face infrequently. It just looks mind-blowingly good, with some interesting tech in there dealing with weather and the physics of how the weather interacts with the sea. In fact, as a photographer, I can see this being a very interesting tool for scouting out areas I'm curious about. This is one I'm hugely excited for and happy to be judged for my nerdiness. But August the 28th is the real bad boy in terms of dates in August. That date is going to be busy and expensive here in Clod Towers, and it'll probably lead to me being like a rabbit in the headlights, buying all of them, but completely unable to decide which one to play. Slightly Mad Studios is back with a 3rd installment of their Project Cars series. Slightly mad, but also slightly confusing, as this is published by Bandai Namco again and not Codemasters, who bought Slightly Mad some time ago. It's taken a bit of a panning among the sim racing cognoscenti, mostly the subset that hasn't played it yet. You know, the sim racers who bandy around words like simcade as if that's a bad thing, often in reference to games that appear on console. Well, you know what? Those guys. But you can control it with a pad. Good. I sometimes want to have a race without spending forever getting into my rig. It doesn't have tyre wear and pit stops, and I've spent 65 hours on a set of Corso Competizione, and I suspect I'm in the very small fraction of the user base that's used pit stops more than 5% of the time. The people I trust most on the subject, like Christi, seem to be saying that the handling is as simmy as you want it to be, and is actually on a par with Project Cars 2, with some improvements for drivability across the board. That's not dumbing down, that's a gateway drug. If this can bring people into one of the few esports that can actually translate at all to real life, then that's good, isn't it? The less tribal we all get about it, the better our sim racing lives will be. Anyway, loads of cars, loads of tracks, and Knockhill. So excited by that. Given that Microsoft seemed to have completely ballsed up the timing of the next Forza release, Project Cars 3 releasing now seems like a genius move. Forza and GT style upgrades and collecting, but with much more simulation style handling? Sweet, I'm in. So also out on August the 28th, we have Wasteland 3. Now, full disclosure here, I backed Wasteland 3 on Fig ages ago, but I do really think this looks wonderful at this point. Essentially what many original Fallout fans would regard as the true spiritual successor to the Fallout games. I'm not sure that I fully agree. I came into Fallout through Fallout 3, New Vegas and 4, and I loved those games, but I still love the look of this game regardless of my lack of experience with 1 and 2. Now, in a move that'll be welcomed by all but perhaps those that forked out money like me to back the damn thing, it's going to be available on Game Pass on launch day. Now, I don't mind that much. My top-down tactical turn-based apocalypse can't come soon enough. Brian Fargo always delivers a good apocalypse. So what have we got to look forward to with this game? Well, we've got snow, mild base management, snow, branching dialogue using the same system as Torment, and also co-op campaigns that don't require you both to be online at the same time somehow. That sounds super intriguing to me. And finally, for our main choices, we have Windbound, also on the 28th of August. That day is going to be expensive. Now, the lazy comparison would be Breath of the Wild meets Wind Waker. And I'm lazy, so that's what I'm going with, although I will note that I actually think it looks a lot more like Dauntless than Breath of the Wild in terms of art direction. Anyway, I think somehow it's managed to avoid triggering entitled man-children into destroying their favourite console in a rage because something looks a bit like Breath of the Wild, which is kind of the gaming equivalent of taking yourself out of the gene pool, so that's a plus. Unless I'm wrong, has anyone smashed their console as a result of this game? Let me know in the comments. Anyway, it looks lovely, it has crafting, exploration, beauty, and it's coming to Switch as well as all the other platforms, including Stadia, for those of you that still do that. I'm sure Phil's grateful for all he can get right now. And just one bonus for August, and that's the intriguing release of a full Sony IP on PC. The excellent Horizon Zero Dawn is releasing on August the 7th in both the Steam and Epic stores. It includes all DLC too. Last month we saw Death Stranding, which uses the same Decima engine, launching to high praise on PC, pretty much becoming a showcase instantly for DLSS. It'll be interesting to see how this fares in that regard too. I actually bounced off this on PS4 at launch because Breath of the Wild came along and blew me away, if you pardon the pun, so I may get this and actually try and finish it on PC. We'll see. Anyway, that's it for this month. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please do consider dropping a like and even a comment. These things are the best things you can do to help out our tiny little channel, aside from subscribing, of course, and feel free to do that as well. The production values will hopefully increase on these videos over the next few months. We're trying to experiment and improve as we go, so things may vary in terms of look and feel in the short term as we slowly zone in on how we want to look and sound. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Clod of War. We're also on Twitch. Just go to twitch.tv/Clod of War. I have been a bit lax for the last 3 or 4 weeks there, but we do tend to try and broadcast regularly. We may even be doing some Neo broadcasting. And our latest podcast episode is out, although, fair warning, we did have some sound quality disasters this month. It'll be fixed for the next one, hopefully. And that's it. We are done. Stay safe, stay well, stay happy, and goodbye.